example, I got a ton of pictures.
Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me.
If you do a reasonably, 6 or 7 o'clock start in the morning,
Oh, yeah.
not crazy early.
I've never seen these again.
Just have a nice fun drive, and you end up in the evening in Salt Lake City.
Well, you go to Nevada,
And that allows you time to stop and have lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
None of this.
I'll have to look at that again because I
Yeah.
remember that it was a longer drive.
No.
Cuts across.
All right, can you hear me, Art?
If that's the case, we can just do it now.
Okay, so listen, you may want to bring up the audio on YouTube because I can't broadcast on Zoom both the audio for the people out there that you were just hearing and for me talking. So in order to hear both, you're gonna have to open YouTube, or not YouTube, but open the W6SFM page and go to the live feed, and then you'll be able to hear the audio for those guys there out in
Yeah.
out
Yeah,
in
that's
the
the way
peanut
with us.
gallery.
Back then,
We
even a
wimp
victim,
out now and stop.
surviving victim.
Yeah, well, you could always call that in Nevada, right? You leave Nevada and
Yeah.
at that location where he mentioned, Phil
Right.
mentioned, you can say, do I want to go the extra whatever hour?
Yeah.
The town of which we don't have no name.
It turned out negative, so
Good.
I don't know what the hell. it
Colorado Springs is booming. It's a great community.
Most of the same
Of course, everything's booming right now, right? Because all the money's dropping out of airplanes.
that got the flu.
Yeah.
I don't remember how I do it.
They're probably the gone through the roof now.
No, I wonder why.
Staying home.
Well, it's a good thing that the club invested in Bitcoin 5 years ago. That's all I can say.
Well, Bitcoin was good till about a month ago, and
Was
it's
it?
been kind of in a tailspin, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Didn't it start out at like $9 or something?
Started
like
out at
that?
8 cents.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Equivalent.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well,
I
you know,
guess I should have bought some, I guess.
You know, I got a strange feeling.
Shoulda, woulda,
that
coulda.
I'm gonna put the kibosh on that. It's a
Feds
source
that-
of revenue for all the
there goes
illegal
Bitcoin.
activities.
there's no way for them to do anything about it.
It's beyond.
The only thing they could do is take it off of public trading. Other than that, there's no way for them to have any effect of it at all.
Oh, goody.
Now, I suppose they could, well, unfortunately, they no longer control the internet. Otherwise, they could block the ISP for the sites that trade.
Did the United States finally give up the internet?
Yes, that's why I was saying there's nothing they can do about it. So I have to figure out what I'm doing.
Wild times.
Many, many bad actors.
Wait till the band catch.
There he is, the man of the hour.
It is.
Yeah.
Boy, I thought you
I don't
were
know
gonna
why
be off,
everybody-
spending your ill-gotten gains from the swap.
Man,
Make sure you put some money in the donation plate.
oh, he's got enough of that.
I know he sold some
That's
some
a
sucker
model
a
would hurt my legs
flameproof
really
key.
good.
For how much?
We aren't talking about that.
I gave a bunch of stuff away.
Just trying to figure out
personal, guys.
how to get this straight and do what I wanted to do.
Mike, there's cold water in the ice chest.
Cool.
Yeah.
You have to get up to get it, though.
You have to get up to get it.
Yeah,
You
that's
got a
the
dead tree next
The
door?
only caveat.
Yeah, I got two of them that need to be taken care of.
When's that sucker coming down?
If that sucker comes down, that's gonna shake the neighborhood.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
Chop the end of your house off
I'm
easily.
having a hell of a time remembering what I'm doing.
I know a guy that wants to cut it down, and he'll take the wood from you.
Well, that's fine. I'm sure the guy would like to save the $1,500 it'll cost him.
No, I'm sure he'll charge to take it down, and he'll take the wood.
I like him already. A mercenary.
Well, that's not like to take it down. That wants to have you pay to take it down. There's a difference there.
He offered to take down. I have a redwood in my backyard. He wanted to take it down. I'm like, no.
That should do that. All right, so like I mentioned to everybody who's on Zoom, if you want to If you want to hear the microphone that's out in the peanut gallery, then you need to go to YouTube so you can hear them. All right, so I'm just going to check that. You speak. Let me hear.
Do we have a lot of Zoom participants tonight?
33
Really?
minus 30.
That's a good,
Impressive.
great outcome.
Yeah, 33 minus 30.
Slow night in the world.
33 minus 30.
Oh, wow.
It sounded like a big number.
It did, it started.
Oh.
33 minus 30.
Okay, that's good. So YouTube is broadcasting both audio.
You got more live ones than you have dead ones.
Who knows what mine is doing? I'm gonna go look for this.
Oh, don't worry, we'll all die, and then it'll be no different. Now, why are you way over there, Mike?
Hoping the clock stays reset.
How come you don't get in line with the rest of the ducks?
Oh, look at here.
There you go.
Are you watching yourself?
I think I can see most everybody. I got this ultra wide angle camera for exactly this case, but of course I can't focus everybody.
And I see Mike's
Took it
now,
back off.
he's trying to get better clarity on the Zoom.
Okay, I'm sure everyone wants. Should we make faces or wave or something?
That's always a good thing.
Thank you. That would really help.
For moving over to be seen.
I mean, listen, the only people that are watching are members. Art, I'm not sure why you're not here because you're just around the corner. You should have showed up.
Double handle key,
So, all right. Well,
double knob key.
That'd be
are you real?
wouldn't it?
I think
Are you really?
I don't think they made the factory actually made it that way.
I think Art is saying that the meetings here aren't good enough for him. He's got to come at the church or he won't show up. He's gone all the way across country to get away from us.
You got Pat and Art online. At all.
So as far as the church goes, I'm teaching the CW class at the church, and they gave me special permission to do that. I'm like the only person in the church now with any activity going on. So they're not even, none of the deacons groups or anything like that are meeting at the church. They're all still on Zoom. So the answer to that question is, Art wanted to know when we're going to get back to the church. And I was told the church would open in September, and of course this whole mask removal thing. Is there anybody here other than John that hasn't gotten jabs in their arm?
That has not?
Yeah, I don't want to know about John. I just want to know about everybody else. Anybody that hasn't got a jab?
I haven't.
I'm not hearing anybody. That's good. So, so when I report to the church, I can tell them that everybody has had their 2 jabs, and you're past that 2-week period of
Whatever you say,
right?
Mike, I agree.
Yeah. So with that said, we're good for everybody that we know that would probably. And Art, you've got your 2 jabs in, right? Yeah. Art says yes too. So what's Pfizer? A 1 jab. Nice. Oh, was Pfizer the 2? Oh, Johnson & Johnson was the 1. That's right. So with that, I can go to the church this month and say, listen, everybody that I asked and consciously saw or wanted to hear said that they had their 2 jabs.
You do that kind of shit in church too.
Yeah, right.
What's that? I don't know what you're talking about.
I think that requires more money in the donation.
It does, it does.
I guess some people just
Listen, at some point, they're going to have to say,
Standing request.
at some point, they're going to have to just say, listen, we have
Favoring anyway? That's what they're
we have
paid for.
waited long enough. Everybody who wants a jab can get a jab. And what are you going to do? Tell people that haven't been jabbed that they can't come to church or they can't participate in anything at the church? It seems unlikely. Now, maybe...
I'll tell you, there's a group I belong to. Unless you provide documentation, you can't attend.
Right.
And that's from the managing mother organization, it's their mandate.
Okay.
And again, it's, you know, they have a liability insurance.
Sure.
Sure.
And if you've got you know, the liability insurance is not in force if they're not in compliance. So
Yes.
there's some reasons.
No, because even for the seat, Art is asking if we should have like a vaccination proof for the church, and the answer to that is no, because even my class, they're not asking for that type of thing. You know, incidentally, everybody who's there, everybody who was there last week, I know they were all jabbed. So, and the week before, they were all jabbed. You know, everybody who's been at the class for the last 2 weeks that I know has already told me that they had the jab. So the church is okay with that. And I sanitize the room. You know, I have to wipe it down, and I have to make sure that after we leave, either I come back the next day or that night, I'll clean tables off with sanitizer and that sort of thing. But in any case, so I think by September they're going to have to make a decision. Are they going to just start restricting everybody into a church, or
Well, aren't they gonna just start opening things up June 15th?
well, that's what the county says. That's not what the church says.
Oh, I see.
Church makes their own decisions. The county can tell them anything, but it's like
Choose to be more restrictive if they want to.
right. Now, at some point, it will, I'm sure what will happen is it will become a lawsuit, and everybody will be like, listen, you know, you can't be restricting. Yeah, it's private property and you own the business, but it can't be no shirts, no shoes, no jab rule. It just isn't.
Sure it can. You know, think of all the revenue you're going to deprive attorneys of. They can't have.
I'm sure it will go to the Supreme Court, and it'll be a civil liberty where they'll rule against businesses where they're not going to be able to kick people out because of a jab. It's like saying,
Supreme Court back in 1912.
what?
Massachusetts versus Johnson, I think, in 1912.
Yeah, but it's like a flu shot. They're not going to be able to mandate for every single shot they want you to have to come into their business. It's going to have to. At some point, it's going to come to a head. Now, July 15th, I guess we're getting out of prison on the 15th. June?
Yeah, there's all kinds of parties that are planned.
Is that what it is? June 15th? Oh, I thought it was July 15th. So we'll see. So I'm going to talk to them again, and I'm going to say, you know, what's the situation? And they don't move at a rapid speed. They move a bit of a slow speed, so I don't expect an answer right away, to be quite honest.
Did you talk to the church about field day?
I did, and I'm waiting back for an answer, but I really don't see that there would be an issue with that. We're outside. The only concern they might have is, you know, going into the church to use the bathroom. Yeah, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. Even they're having services at the church.
They are?
Not in the sanctuary, but in that big hall. When you first come in the back, there's a giant hall.
Oh, yeah.
The multi-purpose room, yeah. So they're already doing that. So they're not restricting anybody from coming in for services. So I don't suspect that they're going to have an issue. You know, they're not telling people they can't go to the bathroom.
Is everybody wearing a mask inside?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to wear your face diaper if you go into the church. So that may be one prerequisite is if you go to the field day and you need to use the restroom, you may have to put your face diaper on. Isn't that what it is?
No, it's called a burqa.
A burqa, right? Basically, you can put your hijab and your burqa on, and you'll be fine. But you know, listen, there's the whole thing about there's no point in wearing the mask anyway, except if you have the virus, you're protecting others. How would I know?
You have the virus.
Oh, well, let's say you have the virus and you have a shot. What's the difference? You're not. It's not protecting me.
There is a difference. You know, it's only 94% effective.
Right. And you probably have a 5% chance of getting hit by a car if you cross it 100 times a
Anyway,
street.
what they're saying.
Right.
That's really what it comes down to. They're saying the shot's useless.
Who's saying that?
You can.
Well, when they say, well, you got to wear a mask anyway, even if you had the shot.
That's right.
No value in the shot.
Right.
Can't have it both ways.
Right.
Well, the value in the shot is preventing hospitalization and death.
Okay.
Yeah, well, only if you watch CNN you believe that.
Well, that's fine. Let's just, I mean, even if that were the case,
Can we have a ham radio topic?
Yeah, good idea.
sure. Anyway, so I've talked to the church. I'm waiting to find out. I don't think they'll give me any guff about field day. I just don't know because I didn't ask until today. For some reason, just totally slipped my mind to ask because we're on the calendar every year. So it almost didn't make sense to, almost didn't make sense to ask because it's just presumed every year we're going to be there. So, so that's what was going on with that. Wilson, if you tune to YouTube or to the live feed on the website, you'll be able to hear the people out that you're looking at on camera here. So, because you're going to only hear my audio, but there's that microphone. You can see it going out to the middle of the ground there. That'll pick everybody else up. So anyhow, I'll find out. Like I said, how many people, just a show of hands, are interested in going to field day? I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bill, you're gonna work with N6NA? All right, that makes sense. Are you too, Bob? Okay. Andrew, what are you doing?
Arrow,
VFW.
VFW.
Auburn Club is up at some airport in
Yeah,
Auburn,
it's-
near Auburn.
Right there at,
Old Phoenix Field.
Standing ahead of there.
That's
cool.
Okay.
Will be outside.
Yeah.
they got a nice open air pavilion,
Oh, that's
covered
nice.
pavilion.
And an air-conditioned building. You
Hey, now, don't get any idea. Don't go trying to make them.
River City this year.
Yeah.
Bad
See.
idea. I'm considering it.
Yeah, I knew that would happen. You and your VFW.
Don't even start. I'm a proud member.
You may be, but
I'm a war veteran, survivor.
listen, go to the VFW, not on field day. That's the
I
one.
never go there except on field day.
I know. You're a proud veteran. I got it.
I joined the club to get good rates.
Really? What do you get good rates on?
Renting the facility.
Ah.
Oh, right. There you go.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah,
Or
I'm,
like
I'm eligible. I just never have joined.
Like a party or something.
Almost exactly.
Oh, okay. Not quite though, because they don't have paper plates.
I don't think they have anything to serve you.
Oh, really? Okay. So you have to have it
Unless you put
catered.
your beer on a plate.
Yeah. You can put your beer on the plate.
May I have a plate full of beer, please?
There you go. That's called the beer mat.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
happening with the VEs? Anybody know? Are the VEs holding classes?
I saw an email today that indicated we had one club, local club here that was going to be doing restarting their VE examinations.
Chico,
Chico's got one coming.
Chico.
Michael Elks is still giving their VE test.
I think the Elks Lodge is.
Oh, good to hear.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're pretty good there. So,
The Sierra Foothills is
Neil, if you want to hear everybody in the seat, you may have to tune into the live feed because the microphones for those guys are only on the YouTube feed, on the live feed for our website.
opens up again.
But you can monitor here or there for my audio. Anywho, so that's field day. So it looks like with 6 people, that's good. Do you think that we'll be able to operate a 24-hour station this year?
All but the wee hours, probably.
I'm not staying all night.
It's tough to do the all-nighters.
I'm done with that.
You can stay till 2 o'clock, Mike, we'll come later.
I mean, if we really analyze, the contacts that we're making, yeah, it's great to be on there and all that. But
Right,
getting that extra bit of rest, and then we can really hit it hard that next morning.
right.
Yeah.
So then the question is, how do we operate the field day at that location where somebody is there, I've always tried to have.
But you gotta change.
I've always had to try to have shifts, you know, where somebody's working a few hours and then the next person comes in, especially on the overnight where, you know, it's the middle of the night and say, for some people 2 a.m. is late enough, and then someone from 2 to 4 or 5, and then from 5 to 9, that type of thing, or 5 to 7. I mean, that would work for me. I'm okay. I've always tried to do that, but I have never been able to get anybody to sign up for a shift. So other than the bug roundup, I've had no luck with getting people to do shifts.
So how have you handled it in the past? Does somebody?
I work 24 hours. John struggles as long as he can till he goes and sleeps in the van, and Chris
Which they never go to
sleeps in
sleep
his chair.
anyway.
Right.
And then
And Chris sleeps in his chair or goes and lies down if someone.
Somebody.
Yeah, you gotta.
I'm there 24 hours, and that's just how it is. And I don't want to do it either if I don't have to. I'd like to get a little bit of a break too. So,
Can we get some AI involved in this period from like 12 to 4?
well, if we can learn to sleep and have a little 2-button push, we could send CQ with one and then report with the other.
One of us just have a frame.
And then a skimmer just copies all the code.
That would
well, I
really
can come back about 2,
Yeah, we talked about that. We could come back at 2, yeah.
but I'm
Is
not
the-
going to stay there and stare at you operating. till-
No, and I agree. I think
So
that's
go home,
fine.
Go to
Yeah,
bed, come back, get up early. I got no problem getting up early.
Absolutely, that's fine. But is 2 o'clock in the morning late enough? Do you want to? I mean, do you think it would be better if? My question is, if you came in at 2, would you really be able to operate through the rest of the night?
Yeah, till 6 or 7.
Okay, because if you think it'd be better to come at 3 and operate till 8, that might, you know.
All right,
You know what I'm saying?
that's the plan.
Because I think, listen, on the last bug roundup, I worked till 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning anyway. So for me, that's normal.
Well, you're normal for you.
Well, you go strong till 2 o'clock anyway.
I'm good
And
till
that's when you
2.
die out.
Yeah.
Well, there's a difference being in your house and in
Oh, yeah.
a field next to a fire station.
Absolutely, yeah.
No, honestly, for me, I don't care. Staying there till 2 in the morning working is no harder for me than sitting in my office. The only difference is air conditioning now. So that's really the only difference.
Wouldn't be too bad that time of the
And
day.
until last year, I never had that air conditioning anyway. So it's all been the same as far as I'm concerned. But I know that you want to take off like after dinner or something.
Yeah, I could do like 3 to 7. That would work for me.
Okay. And then what time do you think you want to head out at the day? Because I know you're going to be there for setup.
Right.
I'd like everybody that we can to be there because it depends on what. Mike, did you say you were coming?
I'll be there for some of it, it's hard to predict.
Okay. Are you going to be there for setup or are you going to be there after?
For me?
No, Mike.
Actually, I have a doctor's appointment on the Friday.
Check out.
Well, we'll set up. I think we'll set up Saturday. We're not going to go. You know, it's not like we have a 3-element
Yeah, we don't.
E or anything. We're talking about a dipole or an inverted V over the tree like we always do, and then one other antenna. We just choose what it is. We have the 4-band trap vertical, so that gives us 40 and 80 meters. If we're just doing the trap vertical and the dipole, then it's a quick Saturday morning setup. Like,
I can commit to Saturday morning setup. Yeah.
okay, so we're talking 9 a.m. start setup, maybe between 9 and 9:30, but we'll say 9 for the sake of it. We'll throw the wire over the tree, drive the antenna over, poke it in the ground, put out the radials. We should be done setting up the table and ready to operate by 11 without a problem. Now, next question.
Still live there?
What's that?
The big ants still live there?
Yes.
Of course.
Not as far as I know, they haven't been evicted. The guy who lived in the house behind there, he has.
He was evicted.
He was evicted. Yeah, he was evicted. But the house is still there. They're fixing it up for the Heart Group. They're gonna use it as a temporary housing for people who are in need of a little help. And by help, I mean they're homeless and they're looking for work and they're trying to dig themselves out. So it's not a homeless shelter. It's a temporary housing for like 2 or 3 people. So the next question is, as far as field day goes, oh, hey, let me ask this. Kevin, are you intending to drive up for field day?
He's in Southern California, Kevin.
Okay.
Kevin, you're muted. I don't know if you're talking or not.
We've got 2 in the trailer.
All right.
I think we've got enough.
I'll ask him. Hey, Wilson, who are you working field day with?
Initially, I was going to go with 6NA and set up there. I've never done a field day before for ham radio, so new experience for me. Don't really know fully what to expect. And haven't done much homework, so I
Sure.
better get focused, I guess.
How many stations are they setting up, Phil?
I'm sorry?
How many stations are being set up at N6NA?
I believe there's gonna be 4.
4.
Either 3
Okay.
or 4.
Yeah. See, one year they had like 15 stations.
Did?
Yeah. They had all the digital stations for different bands. They had like one for every band. So
That's a lot of setup.
that was when you were over at that place in North Highlands. Yeah, that was like 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
No, it'd be more than that.
It was more than that.
Was it more than that?
It'd have to be more than
Oh,
that.
More
okay.
than that.
They were in Rio Linda before.
It was when my neighbor here, Vince, was doing all the batteries and everything with the solar setup.
Yeah, they were
Yeah,
there in 2012.
It's not happening.
Mike, how many
since I've been a
folks,
member
how many
of the club,
stations
and I've
do
been
you
a
get?
member now for
Well, we normally set up 2, and I was just checking to see how many stations would be open for N6NA, and Phil is saying that he thinks it'll be 4. And if it's, so if it's 3 or 4, usually it's pretty much all sideband. Sometimes there's a,
CW off this year.
you do? Who is it?
W6EL.
Okay. Yeah, so, and then you'll have one guy who comes and goes for CW. So I would say if you wanted, of course, you could go to N6NA if that's your group that you like to hang with, and then pop in and say hello to us because our field day is a lot different. We don't have 100 people that come out to our field day. We used to have,
11 a.m.
I don't know, 20, 25. Now we're literally, especially this year, we're just coming out of this pandemic.
5 o'clock.
I think that we're probably going to be in the neighborhood
5
of
o'clock plus
5 to 7 people at the most. I don't really think we're going to see a big crowd. I just took a count and I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had 5 people raise their hands saying they're going to come. Kevin never answered me if he's coming up, but Art, are you going to come by our place for field day? Are you going to be around? Yeah. Okay. Oh, Kevin, you said you're planning on coming?
ARRL, and it looks like, it looks like just a regular year of field
Just
day.
heard you, Kevin.
Well,
All right. So, for some reason my microphone is either really low or he's not talking into it.
River City Art.
Yeah, so like I said, it'll probably be between, usually in the middle of the night from about 11 p.m., sometimes even 10, until about 7 in the morning. There's only going to be between 2 and 3 people. That's about all we can never seem to get. It'll probably be me and Chris, and then John will come back around 3 in the morning. That's what he was just saying. And then during the day, we'll have as much as 5 to 8, plus any guests who show up. So I would suggest that maybe you go check out N6NA, and if you're coming back this direction, because I think you live this way and they're out towards
Probably the
the VFW there, I guess in Auburn or something, or Fair Oaks. So they're a little farther away. So maybe on your way back, you pop in, and if you want to spend some time with us, we're
Yeah, there you
I
go.
I just gotta sit down and map out what I'm gonna try to do on that day and where.
Yeah.
So I guess not fully decided.
we're a strict CW club, so we don't have any sidemen. There's no microphones. So if you have fun on CW, you could definitely do it with us. That's for sure.
got the 1500 watt.
You know that you're gonna have enough people here to help you through that, even if your club's not doing this yet.
All right.
So that brings us to our next question.
Generator.
Next question is, how many stations? Every year we have 2 stations.
And they died out. That's some really good ones.
Every year we set up 2 stations, and every year we have a hard time manning 2 stations on the overnight. During the day, sure, we're able to get a few people, there's always somebody milling about that will take the radio. So the question is, do we just go with 1 station this year and enjoy a 1 station operation where there's always somebody on the air because they want to be on the air, or do we go with 2 and just hope for the best? What's your opinion on that?
How many operators are actually going to be there?
That's the trick.
That's the question.
Why not 2 and hope for the best, Mike? Was it really that big of a hassle to have 2 and then just not man 1 for a while?
It changes our group as well for what we report as, instead of become a 2A. So that's in a whole other group. What's that, Mike?
Well, I'm just saying, if the maximum number of people you're gonna
Is
have
that
is
what,
6,
is that what the count was?
and there aren't gonna be 6 people there all the time.
That's right.
Like a 1 station.
Yeah.
That's what I think so too. I really believe that any more than 1 station, and I've been thinking this for the last 2 or 3 years, any more than 1 station, during the day, yeah, I know there's going to be 2 or 3 of us that would like to be on the air at the same time.
40 years ago.
But if we're just, okay, yeah, it's your turn,
Well, you
then
1 hour
great.
shifts instead of 3 hour shifts or something.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna go to blows on this thing.
I'm thinking the same thing. I mean, yeah, normally no, but in this case, I really feel like we could get away. Is anybody opposed to doing a 1 station as opposed to 2?
What was the question?
Would you be opposed to us having 1 station or
Doesn't matter.
instead
You're
of
not gonna
2?
be here.
It doesn't matter. I just want to know if N6NA opposes it.
Well, I can't speak for N6, but I think you ought to do what you feel is best for your organization.
Okay,
What
so
about the politicians?
so Phil has decided we'll go with 1 station then.
Yeah.
Because I haven't heard anybody complain, we want to do 2. Neil, who are you working with? Neil, are you still here? No, Neil went away. I wonder what happened to Neil. Neil dropped out. Maybe he's driving over.
Delivered the radios that were ordered accidentally the day before Dayton started. And the
You guys can hear out there, right? If you listen to the YouTube, you should be able to hear them.
Well, right now, computer chips are hard to get.
their engineer's house burned down.
Oh my God.
Oh, no.
COVID
Which
happened.
one?
Wow.
Who are you talking about, Elecraft?
Yeah.
Well, anything
What?
that uses chips, Tesla's are back ordered.
Well, I talked to Wayne.
Ford
One
F-150
day.
is back ordered.
Yeah, I heard used cars are like skyrocketing in
Man,
price.
used cars are commanding a
Unless you get
Right.
Uber to start anyway.
See my poor old
Yeah.
Ranger over there. We looked at one at a dealer, and they want $2,000 for a 2011 Ranger, more than I paid for mine did.
Yeah, I should sell this one here for 40,000.
They want 24,000.
They go for like $2,000. All right, so let's just kind of get back into it here. So, have we made a decision? We were going to go with 1 as opposed to 2?
Yep.
Okay, single station, alpha operation. We might be able to get away with the battery instead of the generator. I don't know if we need to drag the generator out instead of the battery.
The battery we're
Get you
gonna
more
use.
points.
Yeah.
same points.
No.
Yeah, same points.
You got a battery.
No, generator or battery
If
is the
it's
same.
natural, you get a bonus.
No, generator is the same points.
What are you
Yeah.
gonna use for a battery if you use a battery?
Well, I've got 200 amps. I would have met.
Are they good? Do they
Yeah,
charge?
All I do is try.
yeah. I keep them. I don't keep them on charge all the time. I run them down and then I charge them back up.
Well, that's fine. We can just have the generator in case we need it.
Well, if I'm gonna bring the generator, then forget the.
When we had my
battery.
4 batteries, that used to take us through the whole.
For
night
2
with
radios,
stations.
yeah.
They're long gone.
All right, so I'll tell you what. Then we'll just do the generator again. That's
Generator,
fine.
Be done with it, huh?
Yeah, that's fine. And we will probably get away with your large gas can because that thing is plenty enough.
Yep, that's all we ever needed even. When I brought 2.
And then I've got 2 chairs for this table. Who else is? Do I have any hands for tables that we can bring some tables? We need to. I think we're gonna eat, so we need 1 table for the food and cooking.
I can bring a table, the smaller version of the one you have there.
That's fine.
And I can bring my 2 oak chairs. Those
Okay.
Nice wood oak chairs.
Sure. You still have the pickup truck?
Yeah, I don't have it with me tonight.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I'll have
So, all right, yeah. If I could get a table and chairs, and then the generator, and then I guess I can provide the radio.
I can bring you a table too if you need.
I got that small grill.
Yeah.
Work
Yeah, the propane
hot
grill.
dogs.
Yeah, we'll do the propane grill again.
Big wet sloppy kiss?
And then I can do. I'll pick up some food. We can do burgers and dogs again.
Yeah, that way you're not having the same thing every time. Just
Right.
variety.
So well if
What do you mean? You always had to take
The club will buy.
Hamburger.
The club will buy water. The club will buy burgers and dogs and buns.
Buns.
no tongue.
And we'll probably, you know what? I'll buy a box of those little chips again.
Mustard.
bring some condiments.
Mustard, ketchup, yeah.
Sauerkraut, maybe?
Sauerkraut, huh?
Good for
Chris's
you.
shirt is crying out for mustard.
Well, you gotta have those big pretzels to go with the mustard.
I'd like that. If all right, so Phil's gonna bring pretzels, drop them off at our field day.
Really?
The big soft ones, right?
Somebody providing dry
Yes.
ice for the ice cream sandwich.
We'll be expecting those.
And I need
No, that'll
some
be his.
German.
That'll be his expense.
Oh, the German pig knuckles. There's a great place in Munich, right off the
I'll go there
Marienplatz.
tomorrow.
If you can,
Place by
it's
order.
they're in that rotisserie for like 3 days before they pull them out. It's really good, and they have this Hefeweizen, and it's about in a glass that big. And I tell you, we ate for an hour, and that glass was still 35 degrees when we were done. It was amazing. Oh, what a good place! I had a really good schnitzel there. Lynette had the pig knuckle. But yeah, if you can bring the big soft pretzels, and if you don't want to stay, and the pig knuckles. You don't have to bring the pig knuckles. We'll be all right with just make sure that you bring the soft pretzels. And listen, because I know you live there, if you're passing by to go to N6NA, you can drop them. You don't have to stay. Just make sure you drop them
I
off.
live just on the other side of Phoenix Field, so.
Oh. Well, ship them to my house. Just have them delivered to my place a day before. I'll put them in the freezer.
I make set arrangements.
Okay, thank you. All right, so there we go. I've got the coax. So what are we going to do for antennas? Mike, are you going to want to do phase verticals, or do you want to just go with the single?
Go with a trap vertical.
Okay, so we'll do the 80-meter inverted V, and we'll do I don't even know if we need the vertical at that point then. Because we only have one radio. Do we really need both antennas?
Past the first.
Have we ever had
If
it?
you're doing 10 meters or 15 meters, it's nice to be able to try the vertical, but we don't have to have it. Of course, there's so many signals on it with propagation at all.
Right.
Maybe it's not worth it.
Oh, I know where that is.
I mean, it's like a whole new thing because we've never not had 2 stations. So,
Maybe an hour.
but the 80
Oh, we
meter.
gotta take it.
take it?
Mike's
Okay.
right.
I vote for taking it.
Okay. Yeah, it's already constructed. It just needs to be drove over there.
Yeah, it's not that big a deal.
No, we just throw the ground radials down, run the coax, and we're done.
Yeah.
So, okay. So
maybe
we'll
an hour
do,
with 2 or 3 of us doing it.
if that, yeah.
The wire catches the tree on fire, we'll have a plan B.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
No,
Yeah.
The fire department's close.
Might be good for winter people.
Fire department is very close. But by the time you get through to 911 and then they dispatch and everything's
Yeah.
burnt down
You're better off
already.
grabbing a hose, yeah.
I was across the street from a hospital that had an ambulance service, and some guy drove into the gas station, crashed into the pumps, and we called the fire department, or we called an ambulance, and it took like 20 minutes for them to drive across the
Well, one I use is
have
a
their mics on in a second.
2 PVC caps.
I bought a
Short piece of
unit, I
PVC.
never used it, but it's the one,
I haven't tried anything over 100.
tree trimmer.
No, not recording.
I forgot to
YouTube records for me,
release the
but I'm
Reel.
having a hard time with the
shot it off.
YouTube
It
feed.
flew right off.
It's,
And never saw the projectile again.
it's kind of a bit of a problem. Just trying to
I heard it go thump on something, but
You get
And I
better
never
if you're
used
there. Not
And,
quite the way
yeah,
it's
so
supposed to work.
the theory is use that and then
the fishing line, you know, you
high, right?
the reel you have to release it,
Right.
so the line goes out. I forgot to release it,
God, you weren't
and it
patient.
blew the projectile right off there
Awesome.
into orbit, I guess. Never did find it.
Can you check YouTube for me and just see, or not YouTube, but the live feed,
Point it up and
and
we're
make
over
sure the
the
live
real
feed is
good.
going? Not sure what's transmitting.
Never saw the projectile again.
Oh, it is working. Okay, good.
That's your place.
So let
Yeah,
me
yeah, I've built
screen
three
share.
Painted them orange.
Hey Mike, I'm listening on live feed and I can copy a link.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get their camera back.
Yeah, I keep hearing rumors.
I have a lot of stuff going on here with one computer. I tell you, it's not easy. All right, so
Why? That's why they moved to Sacramento. Well, why is they've broken into 3 or 4 times.
who's broken into?
Yeah.
Well, it was more than that.
Wow.
We're talking about HRO.
And they raised their
Oh yeah, what? What's? Yeah,
So
go
there
on.
are no Bay Area HROs anymore.
Right, that's what Bob told me the other day, and I was surprised to hear it.
The reason why the landlord raised the rent to triple the old rate, which is what happens down in the Bay Area.
Oh, yeah.
Not only that, though, thieves vandalized the building. They stole all the copper wires. That sound familiar?
Oh,
So it
no.
was 2 weeks to put
Yeah.
services back into the building. Then they did it again. So they had two-week segments where they had no power. They just
Wow.
had enough.
And they had to come here, huh? They should have gone somewhere else in the Bay Area.
Wasn't there
Where?
HROs in the summer? They're on Auburn Boulevard.
Yeah, now, have they opened yet?
No.
No.
They're stocking the store right now.
Okay.
And they had a hiring
Hiring.
program
Right.
a week ago or so.
Oh, that was about a week ago? Yeah, I remember they said somewhere around the 20th or something they were
Block and
going
a
to do.
half from where HSC used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
sort of over by Tap Plastic.
Yeah, I drove over there the other day just to check out the store, and you know, the signage is all up,
Right.
so they're ready
You know,
to.
that's going to be a welcome
That
thing.
should,
I think they're
that should set up
going to be kind of friendly towards the
get a
local
plasma
clubs.
TV, turn it on.
It should be a good thing.
You let me know if that works out for you, with the local club thing, because I've never had that kind of luck with them. But then again, you know,
They'll give you all the free catalogs that you can carry to your collect.
get what?
They'll give you all the free catalogs. that you
The
can
free
carry.
catalogs that I can get. Yeah. All right, fair enough.
You got to make a living.
Yeah, you do.
Sure, that makes sense.
I'm kind of curious what kind of margins that industry operates on.
Can't be moved.
Well, I can tell you just from being in it, and it just depends on what you're selling. Some margins are super high, some are extremely low.
The accessory
And
stuff is
now,
pretty good.
the owner, he passed away, and his son is running it. And his son is nothing like his dad. His dad was a race to the bottom type of guy. He wanted to mash those prices down as low as possible until it couldn't go any lower, and thinking he would put everybody out of business, and it never worked. People just settled with.
Another fool.
That's right. So the Sun is not like that. He's not doing the race to the bottom like they were before. So the prices have stabled out at where they were for the last year. That doesn't stop the next guy from lowering his prices. But yeah, some of the items they're making, 5%, and other things they're making 30 and 40%. It just really depends on what the item is and who else carries it. Because if somebody else carries it and they wanted to race to the bottom, as soon as they went down 5, they'd go down 6. They'd go down 5, they'd go down 5, they'd go down 1, they'd go down 3. And it was just like that until it was all the way to the bottom. So if they were only carrying that product and the other store didn't carry the other product, then there wasn't a race to the bottom, and they're probably making 30, 40% margins. But if there's 2 stores that carried it and there's no MSRP, then you can be assured that these prices are not getting any lower than they already are.
Only time will tell.
Yeah. But, I don't even know why they opened a brick and mortar, to be honest. It seems to me that they could have just stayed on the internet.
Well, they need a West Coast shipping point.
Yeah, they could add a warehouse without having a store. Right.
Well, we'll see.
It'll be interesting. I mean, you know how it is. The one store is going to feed the other, whoever's the busy store, because basically, I talked to the guy who had the last ham radio store here because I was thinking of opening a ham radio store myself, and he told me, people came in, they would drink his coffee up, they would buy a piece of coax, and then they'd go home and order all the radios that they played with at his store. And I was just like, what's... Yeah, we are. Now, one good thing is the whole interstate sales tax, where you didn't have to pay sales tax if you were out of state. That's come to an end. And thank goodness, because it really... What's that?
Shipping charges.
Nobody charges shipping. Not that you don't pay shipping on anything anymore. If you have shipping, most people won't buy from you. So almost everybody is. You buy $100 worth of something and it's free ship. Doesn't matter what it is. But and that's a killer too, because you can't ship anything cheap anymore. And
unless you're in China.
Unless you're in China, right? But that's subsidized shipping. In any case, we'll see what happens.
Well, yeah, I think it'd probably be a good idea to try and support them as best we can. They've got a lot invested there, and
I'm not a big fan of HRO, but I'll go poke around their store. I'm not gonna.
You'll go drink their coffee.
I'll go drink their coffee. Yeah.
No, you probably are, because you wouldn't like it anyway.
I'm interested to see who they hire. That's really more of what I'm interested in.
Who they hire?
Yeah, I want to know who the manager and who the salespeople are going to be, because I presume I should know them, because we're a pretty small community and a lot of us know each other. So
look at the HRO catalog that was just sent out in the mail. I received it a week or 2 ago. And it shows the Oakland store going away.
Yeah.
And the Sacramento store is there, but it has the same staff named in Oakland.
Oh, does it?
Both said that they are friendly.
I don't know what that means.
They said they were hiring here. They were looking for.
It's for the people who were told, hey, go to Sacramento or you don't have a job here at HRO.
Yeah, maybe they moved those people.
And so, maybe it's a contingency plan that if people move, that's great. If they don't, they hire.
Yeah. Wilson was saying that in the last catalog for the HRO, that they had the same names of the employees listed for the Sacramento store.
One size fits this car, one size fits a
Yeah, I mean, give them a chance to move, keep their job. That makes sense.
Who are you thinking of that you talked to that had the last store?
I was at date.
Say that again?
Who were you talking to that had the last store?
Oh, Wilson. N6 EMF, right? EMF? Yeah. So listen, over the Bug Roundup event, we always get QSL cards that come in. Wow, that one hasn't even been opened up yet. Oh no, and I did open it. All right, so I've got a few here. What I'd like to do, let's take a break here, and then after we come back from the break, I'd like to fill out some QSL cards and sign them as a group so that we can return a QSL card back to these people. Some of them were from the bug roundup before this one, so they're waiting 6 months now. But there was a pandemic, so what can you do? But
Well, if you go like this, it could be a pandemic.
it works too. Oh, and also we have I think we have 2 or 3 new members as well. Wilson here, N6EMF, he is a new member. If you haven't, yeah, he's a great guy. Interestingly, he's in the CW class, and every time I listen to him, he sounds like we have the same personality and traits of everything, you know, from the eating to using a fountain pen. I mean, it's...
Oh, good grief.
You noticed my fountain?
Oh, yeah, of course I noticed that
Two of
fountain.
you?
So I've got my own collection here, and I use only fountain pens in the desk. Yeah, so we have a lot of things in common, which is nice to know. So...
You've got visitors.
Oh, and here comes Chloe behind me. She's out for the meeting. Oh, you do? What do you have to tell me? Huh? No, not now. Thank you, though. All right. Yeah.
Two things I'll say. Let's talk about the Lammy 2000 offline. I have one of those here.
Okay.
I don't know if you know what that is, but
Yeah.
anyway, I need to get educated on field day, and is there a document the club has that I can read and study the expectations?
It's real simple. Everybody runs it differently, but I'll send you a link to the rules and regulations, and you can read what the process is. It's pretty straightforward, though, and one of those things where when you come out, you'll have 100 Elmers that will be happy to show you around, you know. So we also have another new member. Let me go over to our club page real quick here. I can get to it. Let's see if I can remember who it was. It's Jim. I think it's W6JIM. Does anybody know Jim? So Jim was in our last bug roundup, and he lives, I don't remember where he lives. He lives up north, I think, a little bit north of here. So W6JIM, he's new. Wilson is new, so we welcome him to the group. And let me see here. There was somebody else.
Well, JoJo's relative.
Oh, that's right. I believe, yeah, JoJo, KN6HTD. He joined up as well about 3 weeks ago. So we have 3 new members, JoJo, Wilson, and Jim. So I've sent emails for announcing those people. If you haven't gotten the email, let me know, because it's either getting stuck in your spam or it's not stuck in your spam, but it's just not getting out of the server. So I'd like to know that. But yeah, there should have been announcements made, and I'm pretty sure, Wilson, you received your information email, right? That said you had a club email address, a forwarder. So it's your call sign. You're muted. So it's your call sign at W6SFM.com.
Before I noticed my call didn't appear on the website, and I'll have to.
You sure?
I don't have anything from the club on
Under N6.
take a look, and I'll let you know if I can't find it. I know we had an issue with things getting stuck in my spam folder.
And
Check
you're right. It's not there. Okay, I'll add you later tonight. You're right.
And it all
Bona fide members.
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. You know, it's the pandemic.
Like incognito sometimes.
Yeah, well, I always ask, what things you want to exclude on your application. I always ask, what do you want to exclude? And then people don't realize that I never give anything out anyway. It's not like we have a club directory. So Wilson was just pointing out that he is not on the members page, and he's correct. So I am going to need to get that updated tonight, so I'll remember. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get some QSL cards. Guys, take a break. Dave brought some snacks for everybody, and I think he mentioned there's some cold water in there. So help yourself. Give me a few minutes. I'm going to grab some QSL cards, and I'll fill out the... Looks like we got one from JH1 GTU in Japan. I believe that's to the club. Let me do. Yep, W6SFM. So that's this one here is from Japan. Now this was an interesting one. If anybody has talked to Bob, he's not a member of the club anymore. KJ6CA. He never paid his dues, so he kind of got moved off the roster.
2 days ago.
Yeah, can you mention if he's interested in staying in the club, he should remember to rejoin us?
He's real sporadic on his operation.
I know.
He used to be real regular, but
This one is Rocky. Rocky is AE7 or AE6? AE7 US. So you probably know AE7 US. And then I think he might even be a member of our... Yeah, he's a member too. And then NI0C, that's Chuck in St. Louis, Missouri. He was in the Bug Roundup. And then we have KN6GFG. And I don't think I worked him. I think it was somebody else on the key for this one. And let's see if it says where he is. He's in Sunnyvale. And then I got a letter from Mitch, KB6FPW. And that's... Everybody know anybody else? FPW, of course, is on the net all the time, right?
Yeah, I just do email.
Let's see here, KB6.
He's up in a cabin now anyway.
Why do we not have... I guess, yeah, we only have one KB6. We only have one KB6 in our entire club. It's interesting.
They're pretty big.
So anyhow, Mitch sent in his Bug Roundup log, which is nice. I guess he doesn't have email. So he sent his log in. And this is why I asked you guys to send me the logs when you work as a W6SFM station. Because when people send in a QSL card like that, I've got to be able to refer to the logs so I know what to send them back. Because it's not always 599. And I also like to know what the bug was you were operating so that I can put it on the QSL card. But we'll go somewhat generic tonight, and we'll just, you can just sign your name, and I'll put a little message on there just saying, thanks from the club. And I'll put a special message on Bob saying, sign up for the club again. 4, 5. Hopefully Bob will show up for field day 6, because he usually works that 5 a.m. to 10 a.m., 11 a.m. shift, which is nice. Here's another card, W9 BFP, and he worked the roundup too. Where is he? Mill Creek, Washington. That sounds familiar. BFP. Anybody work BFP? No. And
Is there W1 in there?
I think that was me.
W0EKS. W0EKS sent a little 1945. Looks like a lightning. And there's his QSL card. So there's his little card with the lightning on it, and then so we have about 8 to do. So if you wouldn't mind, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we have 8, and it looks like this one even sent an SASE. So, all right, give me a minute. I'll go on inside and grab the.
What a guy. What a nice guy.
Yeah.
Food out for
I agree.
Yeah, if you didn't notice, by the way, I sent out an email saying I'm looking for somebody to volunteer for snacks,
found one.
and Dave immediately wrote back saying that he would do it. And I didn't hear back from anybody else, just so you know. So in the future,
Is this sort of like the wall of shame?
yes.
Do we actually have to read the emails you send? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if you would read the emails I send, it would be somewhat helpful. But,
Demonstration.
right, demonstration, you want me, that doesn't
So
sound
the question is, would you like me to set up the demonstration during the break?
Oh, yeah, please, please. We'll do QSL cards, and then Phil has a few items he's going to show us.
I have a show and tell also.
Oh, good, even better, even better. I like to hear that. All right, so just take a minute, grab a snack, and then. No, okay. You should have gotten the welcome letter. You got the welcome letter, right? You didn't even get the welcome letter? That was the one that said, please be sure you respond to this.
3 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, that's when you became a member. That's when I send out the emails to everybody at the same time.
So maybe you
You weren't on the email list yet because you didn't get an announcement of your own membership. So that's possible. Did you get one for JoJo? It was right before you. So, yeah, you wouldn't have gotten anything for that. You would have only gotten the one welcome email.
Well, I'll buy that car behind you for 60,000.
60,000? Okay, yeah.
How about pesos?
Pesos?
COVID, still in
Hang on, I gotta go get PSO.
which is Corporation Yard now. Forever and ever.
Doesn't have any network, so if you don't want an LE2, no
But
problem.
they've been doing it on Zoom for
Oh, because I put that little piece of wood there in front of the table.
I got a, that's not a big deal.
I put a new bottom on it.
It's getting good.
Take a look at these calories that I don't need.
Oh, well.
I'm sure they're cardiac smart.
You got to the part, I think people work there fine.
There you go.
Been the rep, do you?
I mean, touch too.
Oh, you gotta take it.
Did.
That's power meter you were talking about.
It goes to about 600 milliwatts, and it's 680 milliwatts. No custom design. It'll go from
That tree is better than.
under,
Yep.
well, 10 milliwatts up through 11 watts.
There's a big win.
It's a watt meter, SWR meter, good from 160 through 460. And it's accurate within 1.6% until you get to UHF, and then it's about 60.
Power capacity. I'll have two
Well,
other.
in this case, it's only, I limited it to 11 watts because it's 2 hours. But actually, with that same design,
Excuse me one second.
pretty cool.
Yeah. I couldn't do that. Sure you can. Bob will help. He's always a big help.
Yeah. All the surface mount parts will be covered by a giant blob of
I
solder.
will do it.
You know what? That's how you actually surface mount solder.
You can,
Yeah.
or you can use paste,
Yeah.
or you can be delicate.
Yeah, I've always, you know.
Butane, plumber's torch.
Propane torch, yep.
It was one of those.
I don't think I would use a propane
long
torch.
soldering irons.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get everything at once.
Where are the tube sockets? Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that too.
Will burn, right?
No, I actually built one of those too. It's
Did it
pretty
work?
simple the way, yeah,
It worked?
the way Phil had it all laid out. You got the circuit board, the parts are marked on there, basically soldered together.
Oh, good.
And then the hard part, load the software.
Well, that's where it goes downhill.
You know, if you had it with
That
you,
probably
you could
took me
measure.
longer than building the thing.
You better
You
go
had
back
it with
before
you,
you
you
put
could
the
measure
software.
power output.
Well, that's
This
what you
one's
need
putting out
BP4MD.
650 millivolts.
That's a big wattage.
Good old coal pit system here.
This?
Yeah, it's a dummy.
What is it? I forget.
What are you calling a dummy load?
I think that's pretty cool. And it's accurate within 1.6%.
Oh, yeah, water.
Yeah, it makes a good VFO.
You know, a bird watt meter is accurate within 5% full scale.
Maybe.
So if it's a 100-watt element
I don't know, you see a card?
and you have a 10-watt output, it's either 5 watts or 15. No, it's 5% of the full scale. 5% of the full scale.
So what you're saying is bird's not all that accurate.
6% of the value.
But
Okay.
Ah, yeah, it is.
It's out of here.
Close enough for me. I mean,
These are
I
our
realize the
plum
MFJ and Acme
QSL
take
cards in
a
case
lot
you've
of
never
this
seen
air
them.
crap.
Well, if it gets off
But
the skin, it's okay.
having said that,
Having said that, well, it's all relative.
still, you know, it goes up to 100. You know, they're
KD6
about, you get a pretty good idea if you're putting out 20 watts or
Yes.
100 watts.
yeah, I mean, it's all relative.
It's all relative.
Back in the old day, all we had was
6RMs.
DC input.
Right.
That's
Right.
Who knows how much the output was?
The light bulb lit, you know you got something.
Probably somewhere around.
Just filling out
40.
QSL
The
cards
brighter it
here.
got, the better you
And then
transfer.
she'll have some stuff to show
Yep.
us.
I still
And
got
I have
one
one
of those.
other thing to
I
show.
put foil around it, shielded it. Yeah, still got one.
There you go.
I still had my
China.
father-in-law's
Oh, you had them.
traffic.
I think that board cost me like 89
Familiar with those? Yeah, they, what are they, 145 volts?
Yeah.
In China.
No,
69 watts, I think, of all numbers.
JLCPCB.com.
Yeah, my dad got some of those one time.
Yeah, you just put it in on the computer, they print it and then send it to you.
I'm putting a key up here for
But
people to
this
look
is pretty
at.
cool. I love this.
Hard to replace, 1911 spark
Set
gap
anything you
on.
want.
Gotta be careful.
This is actually FO. It's one of those SI 5351 chips.
You had that at
And this
the
is a
swap,
little
right,
Arduino
Mike?
Nano.
Oh, look at that.
This one's running an
You have that
Arduino
on
Nano.
at the swap?
I bought
I
that.
wrote the code
Yeah.
for this one.
I sold 3
And then,
bugs
you know,
and 2
this is a
straight
low
fees.
pass filter. This thing,
Who had that one?
the
It came from a,
third order and fifth order.
I don't have the,
stuff,
Was it on
I don't have 110
Yeah, I
years
saw
of
it when I was
history.
there.
Was it on the table?
really
I saw it.
Bill Petalani had it.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Oh,
he
he
showed
did.
it to me.
He bought it
You
at
probably got it from
a
Then there it is.
masterful swap, or,
You got a shield. It's so sensitive.
Oh, that's what you do.
Very nice.
Bill?
Hobby
That thing's not gonna walk away on you.
No,
Ended up soldering in.
that's a nice feel.
What'd you
I
make
like
it for
when
this
the
TV,
hours-
John? That key or the one you made?
Oh, I put that thing together in about 2 hours.
Oh, that's probably heavier, yeah.
I think so.
Mine was plywood and
All
TCU
brass,
thread.
nickel plated.
Well, you don't need to do.
These are all surface now. I don't know if you can see them. Right up here,
Left foot.
this,
CW
these are
contact.
the attenuators.
That would be a good one to do it with.
Yeah,
You bought it.
Can't hurt the
You
thing,
bought it.
You know?
That
You didn't
thing's
give him
cool.
what he
That's what I
wanted,
made
did
for
you?
a joke for
We already had it sold to a guy back east and he didn't want it.
Bogus Story Day.
Really?
We can do
I just,
All right, since we're all up and about, how about we do this?
garage found a
Guys,
plywood on the
if you
floor.
would, come on up and sign the QSL cards.
Together.
And that way we can have a bunch of signatures. There's this empty area right here. You can just sign
15 minutes.
so that other people can do it too. I'll go get a few. I only brought one more.
So where do we
Won
sign
the
it?
ARRL
Down by the 73.
contest 5 years in a row.
Yeah. That's
Short
what I
and
was saying.
sweet.
Pretty short and sweet, right?
Yeah, it was
Major
worth a
law.
laugh.
Pretty much.
Pardon?
one set.
But it does work. You
Down and
can
look at-
send on it.
Should be like
The micro switch.
0.66 or 0.65.
0.63, yeah.
That's
You could
6.5.
already get
30
that, stick a
milliwatts.
relay in it,
Huh.
or have big contact.
I don't know what you do that for, but
I don't know if there is, we could handle a big high voltage, you know, like 110 or 220 or something.
well, shucks, I used to use
That's
cathode.
one
You
heavy-duty
don't
key,
touch the
isn't it?
key,
Yeah, that's
except for the handle.
I did already.
That's all you got to
Bill
do
was
there.
carrying it around.
Or the gridlock key,
Carol
same
built
thing,
one
really.
of those.
Gridlock is pretty low voltage.
She got it.
Aren't
Not all of
Aren't
them,
they?
not all of them.
Yeah, running everything through it.
They're about 200 volts.
Yeah, something like
Is
that.
that much on gridlock? No?
QRP.
Yeah, it's dropping value.
Shut that thing off good.
Is that little meter?
I don't know, I never had gridlock. My home version
Gridlock,
of transmitters
gridlock key, right? That's what it gets deep.
were all,
Gridlock key.
Everybody's signature counts.
Well, somebody did even do,
Anyways,
wait, you know.
it looks like we only have a few.
So that's all we're doing.
Been on the
John.
council key in, but I've been on the air.
Remember how much we charged for that tuna tin? Was it 25?
I think it was, yeah.
25.
I'm pretty sure it
Those
was.
two?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just keep them rotating. Guys, come on up and sign. I want to have everybody's signature on the
Want to
card.
put your mark on it for you?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah, just put an X.
I'll put an X on there for me.
Next, yeah, there you
I'll
go.
keep it on there. Already did that one.
I like
What?
them to
I think
know.
you did ones underneath it.
Call on there.
I like them to know that they actually care about the fact that they sent us
Oh,
card.
that's nice. Even though we're not here.
So you're gonna talk about it,
He does those.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you gotta do more than one?
Once I did the calibration, these are absolutely 20 dB coupling. And then this is a 17 dB attenuator. Those are the two log amps, which drives this little microcontroller.
Was that a QST thing?
No, that's not.
It's really nice. I'll have to show it to them.
That was one.
You always have the greatest
Nice
things.
picture you sent of that rack.
You're supposed to.
So are some of those
Is it Bodak phone?
connections in between the two sides?
This is a current transformer.
Yeah.
Voltage transformer, voltage transformer. This is reverse. See, with standing wave ratio, the current's the same either direction. But forward voltage is your forward power. Reflected is a different voltage, it's 180 degrees out of phase. And that's where you generate the SWR measurement.
Well, once I get to these ratings, you can, I'll be able to focus on the rating. Everything else.
Well, when I go SK,
So with Telecraft,
make a good deal.
shifting everything over to the K4
Put right.
program.
Give me a pen.
They're not supporting
Yeah,
it,
get,
or they're supporting it.
you know, that
but
macular
in a
hole
matter
I
of
had.
time, they probably
Oh,
won't be
yeah.
able to do it. What's going on with that?
From what I've been reading.
Another one, yeah.
Well,
Same line?
what's this theoretically,
Oh,
yep,
what's your,
they theoretically they will have enough. I'm taking
Sign
repair
for Chris, too.
smaller
Oh, you're good.
here.
You're a good guy.
repair K3 possibility. I mean, they're still making K2, so I'm on 3 different eye drops. But that's no big deal.
Oh,
Pretty
well,
much
you
as
got
long as
that,
you can get
every
through
6
both,
hours,
you know,
the 2 of them,
parts.
every 8 hours,
For
the
K2,
other one.
you're okay. So they're getting a look at it. So
Did you sell more than one
they
meter?
will probably have an partner, and
Good.
Only sold one at the
might
show,
close by
but I had 2 people call
Yeah.
after the show who took my card.
rather than just
But
take
they
out
And they
and
came back
more.
tomorrow. And one of them,
Good.
he had bought a 650 and he brought the 600 back with him. And he asked me to consign it, sold it in a day.
Online orders.
Perfect.
All of the
So he basically got that 650 trade in for like $230.
K3
Write it down, write
and
it down.
somewhat improved.
Got a $600 amp.
So the USB board that goes in there, the new synthesizer.
Had his
board,
600
all those
4
are
years.
being remanufactured
manufacturer.
I like his style.
Mike, can you hear me?
Deposit or full. I tried to. And then maybe
Yeah, Neil, what's up? What's up, Neil?
But then that'll be.
Neil.
Yeah, what did you say?
Yeah,
I can hear you.
I'm a problem on the delay here because I'm working on YouTube and the audio is
okay.
copy-paste. But I just got that bug from the activity the other day. I found out that it is way too fast. And I cannot even send my call letters. So is there any chance that we can get together and get some lessons on that?
Yeah, anytime you want. I'm always here, you know that. Just come on by whenever you want. Just give me a ring and let me know.
Ask him why he's not at the damn meeting.
I did
How
ask
come you're not here?
Because I've never had a use for it.
Question. There you go.
Oh, my cooking day.
Oh, it's your day to cook. I cooked and I still got here. The Warriors are after you.
So.
All right, anybody not signed that wants to sign?
I don't think because they should never have stopped building the K3.
Okay, I got you.
After they announced the K3.
All right, Wilson signed all eight.
Of course, you know, the K3.
I'll put an X for you.
There you go.
You and Chris. I'll make the X
Not
bigger.
having people buy a radio a year and a half after it's been introduced is not a good thing.
This is what you're going to see from Mike. He's going to tell you what kind of key this is. It's a straight key, obviously.
They've had problems with the
And the interesting thing is if you look at the contacts, they're huge
COVID and stuff like that. So
because this is a spark gap key.
they needed. My guess
So this is like a 1917 spark gap key.
They'll get it back.
It's gonna be slim.
Pretty nice. But I don't think this is an original base. I think it's a piece of marble. I think somebody modified a piece of marble and put it on there.
For a new radio, and that kept them employed.
And then
Plus it's got
You're never gonna buy
I heard of MFJ.
That was a couple of years ago.
And
I
then
know, that was my bogus
this
story
is
3 years ago.
another one of Phil's projects. And this is a watt meter.
No, actually, my bogus story was that the Elecraft was being made in China.
So there's a watt meter.
Overseen,
It's hard to
quality
see
control is overseen by MFJ.
screen, but I'll key up and it tells you there's half a watt.
See, you
Yeah,
miss a lot, not
You never know
doing
what
bogus
day.
So-
stories.
There's the watt meter, tells you the SWR and the wattage going out. I'm keying a key off a little transmitter that he's got a board for. And then there's a terminator at the top of the board. That's what the SWR is reading, that terminator. So this is his little processor over here, and then just a display. So the board has almost nothing on it, but it's a watt meter. Hey, you'll tell us about it, right?
I will tell you.
Okay, good. And then here's the transmitter. Angle it. Oh no, I can't reach that. I'll move this camera here. Let's see. And then here is the key that I was transmitting with, and this is the actual transmitter. And the maximum power out of this transmitter?
It's about 600 milliwatts.
600 milliwatts, okay.
Could be worse, could be big.
And the circuit boards were made by Phil. He designed them, and then the plans go out to China, and then the Chinese literally take the board, make it off of his CAD drawing, and then just send it to him in the mail, and then he stuffs the boards, and they're ready to go. So that's those are Phil projects. All right, so I have all 8 QSL cards back, I assume, and everybody's gotten good. That's what I want to see. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, good. So we're ready to go with those. Okay, so I know that Mike is going to talk to you about his key. He'll show it to everybody and tell you what it is. One of the things that I wanted to do is let you know. I wanted to let you know that we have a new club hat. The old hats are nice. John, are you wearing a club hat?
No.
No. But it's kind of like what John's wearing that we used to do. And now I'm introducing the new club hat, which looks like that. Can you see it from there? So it's more of a baseball style cap, and it's, you know, name and call. There's nothing on the back, but just so you know, this logo, everything on the hat is embroidered now.
Can I trade in the old one?
Yeah, we're taking trade-ins, so if you want to trade in your old hat, then this one here is only $25. So,
otherwise?
what's that?
24 otherwise?
$24.99.
Is it a
I'll
summer or
trade
winter?
in 24, we've traded 24.
What's that?
Is it a summer hat or a winter hat?
I would call it a summer hat.
So it's mesh in the back versus solid? That's what.
I think,
So he has cotton all the way around.
I think it's,
Hat has a mesh.
I think it's a cotton all the way around. I do think it is. It's your standard, like if you were to get a baseball cap from, I'll have one here in about 2 weeks, so for the next meeting I'll definitely show it to you. I got two styles. I got a blue and I got a gray. But yeah, it's all embroidered, and the cap is two-tone. So this is like a gray with a charcoal rim and sides, and then the gray in the front. And then the other one is blue on the sides with the blue rim and the embroider. The blue looks pretty good. I don't think it looks a little oldish because that color kind of harkens back a few years, but I know. So, but one of the good things about the blue is that the red embroidery and the yellow, I paid them to. I put the logo in, and it just wouldn't translate to embroidery at all. So I went ahead and paid the company to redesign it so that the embroidery would work. And they did, and they even did the ARRL logo, and that's stitched in yellow, and then the W6SFM is in red. So with the blue sides, I think it's gonna have a really nice pop of contrast because it's on a white background. So I'll have those. I'll have both the white and the blue. Actually, John got the blue. Not John here, but John Nall. He got the blue one, and I took a gray one so we can show you what both look like. So if you're interested in this style cap, it's a little more modern than the one that we've been doing, and the price is the same. So why not get an embroidered hat? The next step, of course, will be we'll embroider like a polo, kind of like the N6NA has. So we'll do an embroidered shirt as well. So they'll last a little longer than the tees. But the tees are still good shirts, and they're definitely nice for summer, that's for sure.
You know, Bob and I were talking about this. Back when we were kids, and they had a little color beanie thing.
Yeah, the beanie, yeah.
We had a tri-band that would spin.
Oh, right. The pin
Now, that
mill.
would talk ham radio.
And you could even solar power the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're talking.
Way back when.
People wouldn't walk, they'd run away.
All right, so
Bob, nobody's interested.
I don't know, what's wrong
How'd that
with
happen?
I don't know.
yeah, you can put a Yagi on the top, but I just don't like the beanie style. If you can make it a full hat and then put the tri-band on top, that would be fine. So Phil's talking about the beanie hat from like what was that, like 1920 for the Argyle gang? They like what was his name?
Little Rascals.
Yeah, what was the Spanky? Was that? Yeah, Spanky. Spanky wore it, and it had the little pin mill on the top. So he's saying that we should put a tri-band beam, and the beam can turn around on the beanie cap. So yeah, that'll be something something else. I'll be looking forward to seeing that. You go ahead and prototype that. You prototype that one, Phil. Bring it on in, and we'll compare hats and see who.
I'm going to get right on it.
Thank you. Are you going to order that from China?
Taiwan.
Taiwan, even better. All right, so Mike, before we lose light, why don't you tell us a little about that key? And again, you'll have to go to the live feed in order to hear Mike out there. Actually, maybe I can change that. for now.
Yeah, so what you may have seen is a William Murdoch spark gap key. He started the company in 1889. There's some images that come out of a 1911 catalog. The price of that thing was $8 then.
Wow, that was a lot of money.
$8?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bug was 20 or something like that.
No, that was 1960s. The bug was 20.
Yeah, but it was
So-
around, well, maybe $8.
1911 is
That sounds
shit.
about
Yeah.
right.
Kind of cash.
Yeah. It's yeah. So Murdoch made radios and spark gap transmitters and keys, and that one's on marble, and it's they call it a number 282, which is basically the model. So he made 3 different model of keys. And the guy who invented the Petlamani principle is the one who sold it to me. The K6NO.
He made what?
The Petlamani principle.
$110.
You have to look it up sometime. It's
Okay.
coiled kind of antenna elements that you can make into Yagis and stuff. I might drop by his field day. He was trying to draft me to be an operator over his place. He's over at Carmichael.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
K6NO.
Carmichael Park?
Pardon me?
Carmichael Park?
No, he's actually at his house.
Oh.
Yeah,
Uh,
I've seen it.
so
So what drew you to it?
the machining. Yeah, I like interesting straight keys.
Hmm. Because it's a pretty straightforward key. It has giant spark gap contacts on it. That I like a lot. And then it has a real thick center column there. That was really nice.
Yeah, it's a nice nickel plating.
Now, what do you think the original base was?
That is the original base.
Do you think that was actually made on the marble?
It is the original base.
It is. Oh, I thought that.
No wonder it's 8.
Say it one more time.
$8, huh?
I would have thought for sure that that was somebody over the years just mounted it on that marble. So you have do you have an original picture that I know you said you had the picture that he had, but
No, I didn't say that. I said the 1911 catalog.
oh, okay, the
Look
catalog.
it up.
Yeah.
Describes it on a marble base.
Oh, it does. Oh, okay. Oh, interesting.
Pretty cool.
And the images, all the images I've seen are in marble. There is some literature that says that they were available on wood bases. I have never seen an image of a wood, but I've seen at least 3 different good quality images of different keys, all on marble, including the catalog that describes marble base.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I
kind of
just
an
looked at.
idea since wood catches on fire and marble doesn't.
Right.
You know, so I'm not sure why you're surprised.
Well, I'm surprised because when you look at the bottom of it, it doesn't look like it was machined out as well as the key was made. So it looked like somebody home brewed the
I wonder
base.
how they cut the groove in the marble in those days.
Very crudely, because I noticed the same thing. But I've seen a lot of other stuff on slate. You know, a lot of old keys came up on slate from back.
Yeah.
in the East. Same thing.
But you can take I mean, they had machining bits and they could just lay it in and then push the marble along. They could cut a groove in marble. It's not that hard.
Yeah,
I mean,
marble
it's.
is fairly soft when it comes to rock.
Yeah.
No argument there, but that's.
Yeah. So that's what surprised me because it was such a rough in on that where that wire goes. I guess they figured it didn't matter because they were putting the wire in there and it goes underneath the key and nobody will ever see it.
Yeah, and some of the images had another plate underneath that, so those wires weren't exposed. Again, that makes some sense.
Oh, okay.
Most
So
of the images do not.
what?
This
There's no.
also missing the identification plate. Which
Right.
was on the front.
Was it on top or underneath?
It's on the edge.
On the side?
Edge. Yeah, you can see the 2 holes there where it was.
Right. I saw the holes. I just thought maybe that was to screw it down to a table or something.
No, there are 3 holes on the top to do it to a table, but there are holes parallel to the long axis
Oh, okay.
of the marble.
I got it.
It had 2 pins in it that held a metal plate,
Got it.
metal plate that had the name, the company, Chelsea, Massachusetts, Chicago, and San Francisco.
I see. Nice. So, but that's okay. You'll put your toe tag on it, and forever it'll be known what it is.
And until I pass it on to someone else or get tired of it, but I'd never seen one before.
Yeah.
Now, how many keys did you sell out of your lot of
I
keys?
sold 3 bugs and 2 straight keys.
You sold the presentation,
Oh yeah.
and then you sold the flameproof?
Yeah, some fool, but we all know about the flame proof.
Flameproof, okay.
But he got a deal, so.
Right.
Twice as much as you wanted, right?
It's better.
No, yeah.
Does this guy work CW?
All right.
Not very often.
Yeah,
Well-
yeah, the flame proof, well, actually, there are 2 of them that are flame proof.
Oh,
Army ones.
Yeah, well, both of them are Army.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, the Blue Racer, the presentation, and an original.
Nice.
with Navy.
Well, it's a beautiful key. I can't say I've seen that particular model before, so definitely unique.
Yeah, I don't think there are many around, and you see one at a swap meet, and you sold a bunch of shit, and the wife felt good that I came back with one.
Yeah, you got pocket money.
So, you know, that was a win.
That's right. You didn't have to go anywhere. I wonder if that guy on the other table sold that midget, though. Or the junior. It was a Vibraplex Junior.
Yeah, I didn't see that one.
It was $75.
Yeah.
And it was in mint condition. And then he had another one there, too. I don't remember what it was, but it was another $75 key that should have been, you know, $200. So whoever that was, he had some good keys for sale there. All right, before we lose light and Mike goes home, 'cause we're reaching that hour. Phil, want you, if you haven't already explained to everybody what you brought here.
Sure. We've got a
DIY group in River City, do-it-yourself radio, people want to build stuff. So, an article in QST was for the Tuna 10 transmitter, which is what this is. It uses a little digital VFO, 600 milliwatts. It's got a real nice filter assembly in it. And all the third, fifth, seventh harmonic stuff is down at least 50 dB, which is incredibly great suppression.
Can you fit that into the ham cam?
The ham can.
Yeah, if you win the Bogus Story contest, you can fit that. You can boot out carols.
We can make it much, much smaller. We can jump into the circuit now where things get tiny. But in any event, when we put this together, everybody wanted to know how much power you're getting. And I was talking earlier, bird watt meters, for example,
they're accurate within 5% of whatever the full-scale reading of the slug. So if you have a 100-watt slug, and you're trying to measure a 10-watt signal, and it reads 10 watts, that's perfect. But it could easily read 5 watts or 15 and be within specification. And everybody thinks bird watt meters are standard, right? Well, they build some really accurate power measuring chips that all came about as a consequence of this whole cell phone industry. So I put together a little microprocessor-based power meter. Key down. In any event, I use 2 of these little logarithmic amplifiers, and these have an 80 dB dynamic range. And I'm only using 30 dB dynamic range in this particular application. So it measures from 10 watts, actually 11 watts, down to a tenth of a watt. And actually, if I were to throw another decimal point in there, it'll measure 1 milliwatt without bad high. Accuracy is 1.6% of the reading, not full scale, but of the reading.
Crazy.
And believe it or not, this thing will even work on UHF within about 6%. I was really surprised by that. So in any event, it's a surface mount kit kind of thing for the guys to put together. There's, I think, 30 little surface mount resistors and capacitors, and there's 2 little ICs, the log amps that go in here. And within that DIY group, we were selling it for 30 bucks. But if you hold the key down, this thing's measuring 660 milliwatts, 680 milliwatts.
Power station.
Yeah. You know, if you add a driver circuit in there, this thing puts out about 7 watts.
I was going to say you probably get 12 out of it with the right transistor.
So in any event, it's kind of cute, and it's accurate, and it's cheap, and
Now, how much do you think that cost to build? What was the cost of just that board with the components? Just the meter.
parts,
Yeah,
about $26.
that's pretty cheap. And that's NIST calibrated,
It's calibrated against my Spectrum amp,
which is pretty
which
good.
hasn't been in the lab since I bought it 7 years ago, but it's pretty damn close. I compared it against my Hewlett-Packard power meter as a reference, and my Spectrum analyzer is within 1/10 of a dB of that.
That's pretty good.
And I have a 40 dB coupler, so you can measure up to, or actually, you can only measure up to 10 watts, 40 dB coupler, and get down to 0 dBm. But it tracks within 1/10 of a dB, and this thing follows perfectly. It's surprising how close it is.
It's very nice.
So in any event, I wanted the guys to see that because I thought that was kind of cute. And then I'll pass this along. I came up with a different method of
Making sure that my cable for my key doesn't disappear when the key falls off the table.
Oh, show that to the camera.
Did you see that?
I forgot to show the guys at home. So basically, here's what he is talking about. If I can find myself. Actually, this is the bigger camera right now. So there's the key and there's the strain relief.
It's just
I think it's like a number 6 lug, and I epoxy the cable.
Prep it?
Probably would defeat
Prep
the
nowadays.
purpose. That's all it is, just a lug, and I ran the cable through there with a little bit of epoxy,
Good idea.
and it holds it in place. So if you kick
Good
the
strain
key off the
release, yeah.
table,
Wow.
You can catch it by the
you
wire.
can catch it by the wire, and it doesn't hurt
Right.
anything.
When you got a heavy bug. Yeah.
Everybody else have a chance?
Yeah.
Anybody- you want to check that out? That's my dog and pony show.
That was very nice.
Good.
It's really pretty cool that you build all this stuff.
Cool. It is.
I build everything.
And it even
I
works.
know you do.
Yeah. That's the amazing part.
No, it's
It's
really
so fun.
it's great that you build everything on your own and that you get your circuit boards made for you, so you can actually stuff the boards and have them in such a professional looking. Have you thought about selling any of this stuff?
We just do it through that DIY radio group. The idea is to, actually, we've got guys down in Silicon Valley buying this stuff from us.
Yeah.
It's just
Another
for the
club?
club.
Okay.
No, there's some of those guys in the club down there.
So you build these on your own or at a meeting or what? What's the?
Oh, the guys build them on their own. We just put together a kit of parts and
Yeah.
some instructions for them, and
Away they go. And then after they don't work,
Mike and I are asking, are they patent pending?
Software was a hard
Or
one
what?
for me.
Are they patent pending?
Downloading that stuff.
I don't think
well, it's
so.
different. It's
Did
something
it
you never-
happen or did
Phil's
it not
making
happen?
You know, actually, the whole
He gives
idea-
all his stuff away and he sells everything
And once
at
you've
cost.
done
So
it,
if you want the circuit board and you ask him, he'll actually get you the circuit board for whatever he paid for it. He does that.
Oh, yeah.
I actually built one of those tiny tins
These are gonna
with the group.
Oh, you did? Are you in the DIY group?
Actually, I built one kit. This one he just presented, I have invested in, so I'm waiting on my parts for the QRP watt meter.
Right. Yeah, that's a really nice watt meter. I wouldn't mind building one myself. So, Phil, how many boards did you order for the watt meter?
actually, I placed an order for 15 boards, and just enough components to stuff 10 of them. We listed it for 2 weeks, we sold all 10.
Okay. 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 Right. Yeah, Wilson was saying that he's waiting on his stuff now, I think. Are you having any problems getting components? Oh. Right, that's why I was asking. Right. Yeah, the one thing about China is it's like $3 to ship anything from China. It's incredible. And the thing is, they make sure that you can't return anything. So if they send you junk, then they try to deal you into taking X amount of money so that you don't send it back. And they, well, no, because you're buying professional stuff. I'm talking about knick-knack items. Where it's just something you see on the net, and it ships from China and it turns out to be a piece of garbage. So when you try to return it to them, they say, okay, either ship. Yeah.
Anyway, if anybody wants to do that stuff, if you go to our webpage,
I'm just gonna pull it to myself since we're getting dark here. Was that mic not working? It wasn't?
Lost your audio for at least a minute and a half.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, I guess that mic's not working over there anymore, huh? Might be probably disconnected. Somebody disconnected it or something.
Fortunately, I read lips.
In that darkness, huh? I know you can't hear him. I'll go check to see if I can fix the mic.
You're going to read is a power
Let me know
meter.
if you can hear it as moves.
Right.
Is it what?
A power meter. Anything that measures RF power, the accuracy is always questionable.
Yeah.
And that's why I was so interested in finding a way to do this accurately, because we're dealing with small power levels.
Yeah, well, you want QRP to have really more accurate because it is QRP.
Yeah, it's you don't have a lot to work with.
Half a watt can be a pretty big percentage.
Well, consider we only have a 6
Who are
amp
you guys out there with you?
They have contests for kilowatt and so many miles per
Oh,
kilowatt and all that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
were you able to hear him just now?
You gotta be accurate.
You were?
Like I said, I was really blown
Not,
away by
not be able to discern
I
what
think
you
what's
said,
going on
but I
is
could
it's,
hear them.
yeah, I think what's going on is a conflict. I was switching the mic over so that YouTube could, or so that Zoom could hear it, but YouTube already has a grab on it, so it wouldn't release it. I think that's what was going on. Well, thank you, Phil. Appreciate it. It was nice to see the new things that you came up with. As always, we can count on you for new projects. Something, always something cool.
You can count on me for a 110-year-old other direction.
And thank you, and thank you for bringing in the oldest things possible.
Well, we got you.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not old. I'm sorry.
No, I just look and act old. I'm not actually the oldest thing here. But hopefully someday there'll be new faces in these chairs and I'll still be here.
Probably.
Something tells me that probably won't happen, but in any case, yeah, thank you for bringing your key, Mike. Appreciate it. And then thank you guys for signing the cards. I will send out emails reminding those of you about field day, and hopefully other members of the club will also shoot back an email to let me know they're coming to field day. If you get an email and it asks, are you coming to field day, and you already answered, you can answer back again, just an email, so I can have a good idea of a count. And then I'll try to see if I can rough a schedule in. I mean, I know I can go till at least 2 or 3, and then John's already said he'll come in around 3. I guess we don't really need more than 2 people at a time, because we'll have one person logging and one person operating. So we should be good with a minimum of 2 people throughout the day and night. That really takes a big weight off of our backs compared to the 4 people that we always required before. So
I got a QSL from a gentleman on Bug Roundup. I was in my call, and he just fell over himself with praise for W6SFM, what the club does and everything, and you deserve a lot of that credit. So
I don't know about that, but I don't do nothing. All I do is sit in the chair here. That's it. And the only reason I'm sitting in the chair here at the table is because it happens to be my house as opposed to yours. So you'll get to sit in the big chair next time. We'll go to your place. Speaking of which, what's going on with the tower that you've got, your tube tower? Is that down? And I know you were thinking of setting something up on it, right?
Oh, my tower?
Yeah.
Nothing yet. I'm still debating on, at 70 years old, the merit of putting a shitload of aluminum up 80 feet in the air.
Yeah.
Well, you do that so when you croak, your wife has to figure out how to get rid of it.
Right.
She's still gonna have to figure out when he dies. His wife is still gonna have to figure out how to get rid of that giant pole sitting on the ground, or it's always a headache no matter what. It's actually gotten to the point where you have to pay somebody to come take it away now. It used to be.
At our club, we get messages, maybe 2 or 3 of them a year. We have this house we just bought that has this great big tower. And we want to know how to get rid of it.
I've had that, yeah. I've had that like 3 times this year.
Wisteria looks really good on a tower.
The what?
You could pace off and put numerals around it. It could be
a giant
very
clock?
large sundial.
Oh, right, a big sundial. Or you could put a windmill up there and you could generate electricity.
Mike Asher's guide to
Sell it. You could sell the house when it's time. She can sell the house as solar ready or generator ready.
And not only that, you have a guaranteed 110 mile an hour wind indicator.
That's right. There you go. Well, his is a tube, so.
What, mine?
Yeah, you have a tube tower, right?
Oh no, it's a heavy duty, probably 70
It's a lattice tower.
It's very robust.
Oh, I thought you had a tubular tower.
Well, it had a 40-meter beam and a KT-34XA and a 2
That was a great antenna.
No,
I had that KT-34, and it was an amazing antenna. I loved that thing.
one of the best ever made.
Yeah. I put mine on the side of the house before I moved.
They work better in the air.
Well, I said before I moved. And the the people who, they took down the big eucalyptus, like 100-foot eucalyptus, they chopped into little pieces, and then the gardener went and piled them all on top of my antenna. So that was the end of that.
Was it a neat pile?
It was a very neat pile, and I burned through the wood, and when I finally got down to the antenna, it was not much to look at. So all the little plastic pieces that held the sides of the elements together were just snapped apart, and I don't think there was any fixing it, so what a shame. All right, well, I'll tell you what, we're getting into the darkness now. I don't want to keep you out here too long, but thank you all for coming. Andrew, just let me know when you're ready. Yeah. If we, yeah, thank you, David, for the snacks. And if we can't be at the church next month, then I'll again host here. So just look for that on the front page of the club page, and of course also I'll send out email. So thank you all for coming. Do appreciate it. We'll see you next Tuesday for the 80-meter net.
Yeah, he usually does. Phil, nice to see you.
Neil, Wilson, good night. And anybody who's watching on YouTube, appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time.
We'll see you next month.
Good night. Night.
I'll take a bottle.
I've got a couple things to do this weekend.
Yeah.
Did you want to see that hat? Oh, did you look at this?
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, no worries, Bob. Hey, Bob, is your antenna up again?
It's a good looking hat.
It is, isn't it? And you see they even, Abel got that ARRL. I mean, it's not the clearest, but you can tell it's ARRL.
Every day for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Get his voicemail and texted him and emailed him. Nothing.
What do you suppose it is? You suppose maybe he's on vacation.
When I